What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. I'm your host, Bry-Fy. I'm just a guy. I'm just a chill little guy. No, I don't know really what I am, man, because I do so many different things. Like when I started the podcast, what are we on? 10, 11 years ago. I can't even remember how long it's been. It's got to be because I think I started in 2014. Man, it's been a long time. Anyway, when I started the podcast way back then, I was definitely a comic book guy. So I was Bry-Fy, the comics guy. And then I kind of started branching out to do things like movies and then games and just whatever caught my fancy. I guess more now I'm like Bry-Fy, the pop culture guy, Bry-Fy, the Pokemon card guy, Bry-Fy, the trading, like, I don't know. So that's been my hyper fixation, right? These past couple of year. Yeah. When did Pokemon Scarlet Violet 151 come out? When 151 came out, I definitely deep dived back into trading cards, and now I have a problem. All right. But, I still do talk comics and games and other, I hit the mic, other pop culture things that I really enjoy. So I guess we could say that I am Bry-Fy, your entertainment guy. Like, I just talk about things that pop culture. I talk about things that I find entertaining. You're Bry-Fy, the nostalgia guy. Yeah, that's it. Talk about things that bring nostalgia to us. Anywho, today, second episode of the year, and we're timely. Like, I'm not late. I'm not missing a week. Here we are. I don't know if you would call this the second week of the month. Let me look at my calendar here. No, you would call this the third week, I guess, because the first, December 31st was on a Tuesday, January 1st was on a Wednesday, and I didn't record that week. I didn't start till the second week of January for my first episode. I don't know. The holidays are weird, guys, and I'm trying to explain myself when I don't need to. I'm sorry. I'm digging myself a hole here. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to week 2. Hopefully you guys are excited to be back. I'm excited to be recording because I got some things that we just got to talk about, man. So we got some nifty nerd news, and then we got some things, I guess, to review for you guys or something to talk about at the end of all this. And so stick around for that because it's going to be another rant. It's just going to be a rant, guys. I'm gearing you up for it now. So sit back and relax because here's some nifty nerd news. All right, guys, welcome back to the nifty nerd news portion of the Bry-Fy podcast. Up first, we're going over to some Marvel Cinematic Universe theories and rumors. Apparently, reportedly, rumor has it, that 3 actors have turned down the recast role of Black Panther. And, of course, we know Chadwick Boseman did a really amazing job. Tragedy that we lost him, and, what do you do? And then they did the next Black Panther movie to, help move on, from not move past Chadwick Boseman, but move the story forward without our original Black Panther, and now have his sister as Black Panther. And so with that happening, it is kind of strange that they want to recast him. There have been some theories that it's only for Avengers Doomsday because we are going to be dealing with multiverses and stuff like that. But then there are other rumors that say no, they actually want to recast Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther and have that Black Panther be the MCU, the main universe, the 616, I guess is what they call their main universe. Have that be their Black Panther. look, I don't know. I think it's just easier to say, yeah, let's just take a multiverse one, throw it into this, because one, that'll add some tension and drama between Shuri, Black Panther, and alternate universe Black Panther, which, if anything, Marvel loves having good guys fight other good guys, because like that's like the thing, right? Like everyone loves their heroes, so just to have more heroes, you make them not see eye to eye and then fight each other. Yay! But some of the names, like one of the names that was kind of thrown around, which I found interesting, but I don't know if I was super on board with, was John Boyega. And I like him. I loved him in Star Wars. I really thought he was underutilized, and I think he's a great actor. But I don't know how he would fit into the role of Black Panther. And like I said, this is all rumor mill. And if you believe the rumors and leaks, he turned it down because maybe he saw the same thing of like, well, I don't know if I would fit in that role, or maybe it's they don't want to even try touching something that Chadwick Boseman really embodied and successfully and very well portrayed in cinema. You know, like, you don't want to be the guy to follow that. Like no one wanted to be the guy to follow up Heath Ledger's Joker, but they did, and we don't talk about that person. At least not in a good way. So I don't know. It's interesting. Do I fault Marvel for wanting to recast and get a new male Black Panther? No, because it's just, I'm not surprised by anything. Like, I'm not saying, no, we need a man as Black Panther, because I really like the Shuri becoming Black Panther storyline. But like comics, and one of the things I hate about comics is everything always kind of goes back to square one. Like it always just ends up that way. Like Peter Parker will always just come back to being a down on his luck guy who gets kind of picked on and doesn't have anybody, like, or feels alone. Like, it doesn't matter if he marries MJ. It doesn't matter if he ends up starting his own company and becoming like the Tony Stark of spider people. He ends up losing that. Like it's just like, that's how Marvel Comics works, which I hate. And like, it always pisses me off because like some great things happen. Look at that Superior Spider-Man, and then it just all gets thrown away, which sucks because like it's frustrating. It's all cyclical, or is that the word? Yeah, it all just keeps revolving back to square one. So it is what it is. Anyway, moving on from that. We'll stick with the rumors because those are fun. Supposedly George Miller, you know, famous for like Furiosa, and what was the other one? What was the most recent? Was that the most recent one with Chris Hemsworth? I can't remember. But all the Mad Max sequel stuff like that he's been doing. Well, yeah. Anyway, sorry. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, that George Miller. So, of course, I mentioned Chris Hemsworth because in the latest movie he worked with them. Supposedly, he has been talking with Kevin Feige to potentially direct a Thor 5, which I really had to think about that. There have been 4 Thor movies, right? There was Thor Dark World, Thor Ragnarok, and then Thor Love and Thunder. There have been 4 Thor movies. We're about to be on our 5th Thor movie. Like, who would have thought of all the Marvel superheroes they brought? Like, we all assumed there would be multiple Spider-Man movies. And like total, you think about it, there are 8 Spider-Man. Well, no, Amazing didn't get a 3rd one, right? How many are there? There's 3 from Tobey Maguire, 2 from Andrew Garfield, and 2 from Tom Holland, right? It was Homecoming and then No Way Home, right? Yeah, those were the... Yeah, okay, sorry. Spaced out here for a second. So there have been 7 Spider-Man movies, which makes sense, but not 7 with the same actor. There's been 3 different actors. There's only been 1 Chris Hemsworth Thor, and he's getting his 5th movie, or he might be getting his 5th movie with George Miller directing it, which to me blows my mind that that's the character. You know, yeah, I even thought maybe Robert Downey Jr. with Thor would have got more movies, and Chris Evans, Captain America, could have pulled out more movies. But I mean, with doing the Avengers stuff, which was like their own movies to begin with, Civil War was a Captain America movie and a Tony Stark movie. So, but I don't know. To me, it's just fascinating that here we are talking about Thor 5, the 5th Thor installment. That's just, to me, that's insane. But I think it'd be pretty cool if George Miller did it. I think he could do a fun take on a Thor movie. And I like that Thor has been kind of like not genre jumping, but in a way genre jumping. Like first it started out very theatrical and very Shakespearean, and then it moved into like a buddy cop movie, and then just a straight comedy. And so it's kind of fun to see things change with Thor. So I'm interested to see what George Miller could potentially bring to the franchise and what kind of changes Thor could go through with that, because he's been through a lot, so I think it would just be really cool and really interesting. And he has an adoptive daughter now, which is Christian Bale's daughter in real life, if I remember that right. So that's insane. Wow. Anyway, moving on to more comic book news. We'll go to this one first. So, Diamond Comic Book Distributors. If you guys don't know comics, some of you who listen to the show probably know comics a lot. Diamond Distributors is one of the main, if not at one point, the comic book distributing company. That was who distributed the comics. Like, if you were like Marvel, DC, Image, Boom, all these guys, IDW, like I'm just trying to remember all the names of the different big comic book companies. Like, they were distributed, printed, and I don't remember if they were actually printed from Diamond, but they were distributed by Diamond. Diamond would deliver everything. At one point, it was pretty much a monopoly. That's like how big Diamond was. Well, times have changed. I think DC now has its own 2 different distributing companies, depending if you're on the East or West Coast. I can't remember if Marvel was still using Diamond at one point, but I don't want to say it's split up, but some other companies have tried to emerge to kick back against the monopoly of Diamond Distributors. And here recently, it is Diamond has come out to say that they have recently filed for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which a lot of people were like, oh no, not like, I guess surprised, but not shocked, or like not really upset by it, because a lot of people who I've talked to that work in the comic book, excuse me, got something stuck in my throat. I just ate. So you ever, does that ever happen to you? Like you eat and then you get kind of phlegmy, or is that just me? I don't know. But anyway, so like people that I've talked to that work in brick and mortar and have dealt with Diamond distributors have not always had very nice things to say about Diamond, whether it be shipments late, not getting a bunch of stuff, quality control being really bad. Like, I've heard a bunch of different things about Diamond, which I guess, when you become the supreme top dog and think you have no competition, you lose on some of your maybe not ethics, but, you lose out on quality because who's going to take over? Like, who's really going to compete against you? But I guess that's finally starting to come back to bite Diamond in the butt, which, I mean, good, right? We need these checks and balances. We need competition. We need companies to always strive for excellence and do better. That's the point of capitalism, right? Because if you're not going to be the best, people are going to find, or the cheapest, people are going to find better or cheaper to, or either or to make up for what they believe you lack, right? So anyway, Diamond filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy to stabilize, their quote, intended to stabilize their financial foundation and protect the most vital aspect of their business. Quote, this decision was not made lightly, and It says, and I understand that this news may be as difficult to hear as it is for me to share. The Diamond leadership team and I have worked tirelessly to avoid this outcome, but the financial challenges we face have left us with no other viable option. It says, what does it mean for you as the store? It says, I want to reassure you, and this is me quoting from Diamond, I want to reassure you that with secured financing in place to support our operations, Diamond Comic Distributors is committed to continuing business as usual throughout this process. Our plan is to continue fulfilling orders in a complete and timely fashion, and we are working hard to minimize any disruption to your orders. And I'm going to stop quoting from there. But like I said, from what I've heard from people that work with Diamond, the complete and timely fashion is sometimes left to be desired. And of course, some people might have been saying, well, there goes Diamond, right? The Diamond's gone. But Chapter 11 bankruptcy is not like that. Filing for that type of bankruptcy, to my understanding, is not like, well, we're done. We can't do anything. Well, I declare bankruptcy, like Kyle, or not Kyle, like Michael Scott from The Office. But no, it's more of like, I guess it's the U.S. court. I don't know the Supreme Court, but like a court steps in and allows the company or whoever's in debt to kind of restructure everything, like reorganize all the debt, get it to a more manageable, like, look, like, I guess for us humans is like, hey, I got a car payment, mortgage or rent due, and grocery credit card type bill, and that all amounts to like $800 a month. That's really low, I guess, because like most people pay like $1,000 or more in rent on average, and that's like 1-bedroom apartments in Houston. Oh my god, in Houston, no. Oh man, I did the math the other day because we looked it up. Me and Casey were really curious about one of our favorite places we lived at in Pearland back when we lived up near Houston. The apartment when we rented it, 2014, I believe, or 2013 or 14, one of those 2 years, a 1-bedroom apartment in the town center outdoor mall in Pearland, we were paying $1,150 a month for a 1-bedroom. We looked at it last year because we were just curious. It was up to $1,500 or $1,600 a month, somewhere between $1,500 and $1,600 a month for that exact same 4th floor apartment, 1-bedroom. Don't get me wrong, it was beautiful, it was great. It had an elevator, a freight elevator, free coffee bar, awesome pool table lounge, and an amazing pool with like gas grills all around and TVs and stuff. Like, this was like great living. And we were right next to the mall, so like we didn't have to drive to the mall. We could just walk from our apartment. But so like, yeah, me saying $800 debt, that's insane. So we're looking at more like, we'll just say $1,000 rent, just like, because some people do live in smaller. So like $1,000 of that, $500 on groceries, and another $400 to $500 on a car. So that's like a $2,000 a month that you're trying to pay, but your job only gives you like $2,500, like, you know, like something that you can't sustainably live on because, you know, there's other things you got to pay for. And so it's getting that, almost like refinancing everything so that you get your payments down lower or more manageable, so you don't lose these things, and then they go away. So then you lose your car, now you can't drive to work, so then you lose your job, now you can't pay for your rent, and then you lose your house. Like, I think that's kind of what like Chapter 11 bankruptcy is like, okay, we need to reorganize this debt so that we can still operate and do business, because there are still customers that we have to fulfill orders for, is what Diamond's saying. And now that's a good thing, right? Like, that keeps the chain of production moving. But at the same time, it's kind of like a kick in the face for Diamond, who's kind of been not cutting it out for the last couple of years. And I don't know how much that's been hurting comics. I know me not living close to a comic book store is the reason why I haven't been buying comics really. And also, you've heard my frustrations with Marvel Comics and how things just keep going back to being the same. But anyway, I thought it was pretty interesting. I remember, and I don't know if I could have swore I talked about it on a episode. Maybe it was prior to the renumbering of the Bry-Fy podcast, back in my older episode days, where we talked about new distributors hitting the mark. I know I did. I know for sure I did. I got to find that episode, and maybe I will put it in the show notes for you guys. But Anyway, yeah, I thought it was interesting. And then the last bit of nifty nerd news is one that is very frustrating and pisses me off, and but it's something that we got to talk about, and it's the sexual misconduct allegations and atrocities by one of the best-selling fantasy authors, Neil Gaiman, and not done to him, that he has done to others. Vulture.com had an article that I had read that was interviewing some of the victims, or one of the victims, about the things that Neil Gaiman had done to them. And now Neil Gaiman, if you don't know, he's done like Bad Omens, which is like a really great book with, I think it was Terry Pratchett. It was hilarious and just a great story. But now it's tainted because of Neil Gaiman. And then New Gods, which is, has a television show and things like that. The Sandman, which is a very popular DC comic. One that I was always a big fan and always wanted to start owning the collections of. And now I'm like, do I really want to own those collections? And because it is hard to separate the artist from the art, as much as you want to try. But because I know, after reading the Vulture article, knowing some of the awful things he did, not only to this one woman in particular, but in front of his minor child as well, and some of the things that he called her, like she said that at one point he said that you are my slave and you will call me your master, those type of things. Like, that's freaking awful. And like, it leaves just the worst taste in my mouth about it. It's just like I own Bad Omens. I enjoyed reading that book. I loved it. And now I'm wondering, should I just give it away? Like, I was able to enjoy that story before I knew about all this stuff. But now it's hard not to see some things, especially like with the Sandman. Like, there are some characters in there that people have likened to Neil Gaiman. And then now you see some awful characters from there that are much more like Neil Gaiman based on these allegations. And it's, man, it's not good. It's a bad look. In fact, I couldn't even finish the article because a lot of the sexual abuse that's talked about in this, man, is very disturbing. It is very uneasy to read about. It's sickening. And like, oh God, it's just bad, man. Like, Neil Gaiman is a monster. And then he even comes out, like, he has come out to say this was all consensual. Like, not even to deny that he wasn't trying to even say, no, I didn't do any of this. Like, he was like, oh, they wanted it, or like she wanted it. Like this was a mutual thing. And then even if some of this stuff was kind of like mutual, it is like awful stuff, dude. Like, no. And I don't want my episode to get banned, so I'm not going to say a lot. Like, I'm not going to say what... like I say, you go to vulture.com. I think that one's behind a paywall. But there are ways, if you are a savvy internet person, to get behind paywalls. I'm not going to mention those on here because the government might be listening and they might try to ban me like they did TikTok. That's another thing I'm mad about. Well, as of right now, January 16th, it is not currently banned. I believe the 19th is their stop date. But there have been some senators that want to postpone the ban, give it like I think the bill that was introduced would give 270 more days for either the government to figure it out or TikTok to sell to a United States company. But I don't know, man. Like, listen. If the government starts stepping in to ban apps and websites, that's a bad thing. Let me just say that. That is a bad thing. When the government steps in to kill sources of revenue for people, or sources of information for people, that is a bad thing. That's not like everyone's saying Twitter/X is awful. Stop following people on there, and then everyone logging off. This is the government taking your guns away. This is the government taking away your rights. Or no, well, I mean, yes, no, it is. It's the government taking away a form of speech, a way to communicate and connect with people. This is bad. I don't like this. I don't agree with it. I know they have their issues with believing that this company, with a leader based out of Singapore, as evil. I mean, they believe it's China, whatever. And Singapore is its own sovereign nation, and they have servers for TikTok here in the United States. I think their main offices are located here in the United States. It's like everything that most of the things that they use for TikTok are here in the US, except like the parent company is based out of Singapore, which is overseas, and they're freaking out about that. Where companies like Facebook and X and Google and all that are taking our information daily to curate and purposely put different news stuff. I get texts from our state governor, who I don't even like, who I didn't give him my number, but somehow he has my number. And they send me, this is going to happen. Like Ted Cruz was sending me crap via a text. I don't want that crap on my personal. Like, send me an email to my junk email so I can just ignore it. Don't text me. Jesus. Anyway, there we go. That was my little rant today. That was one of 2 rants that you're going to get today. So yeah, moral of the story, Neil Gaiman, awful person. Hate him. Government, bad. Getting rid of TikTok, which TikTok is amazing and great. And now everyone's running to an actual Chinese app, Red Note. And it's actually really funny, by the way. But that's neither here nor there anymore. There's a little bit of pop culture. That's what's happening in pop culture news today. Anyway, guys, stick around, because after this, we're going to talk about what's really irking me this week. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around after the Nifty Nerd News for the final segment of the Bry-Fy podcast. And one thing I forgot to cover, I did want to talk about, and I guess this is kind of like the perfect spot in the podcast to talk about some of these things. So, it's been a while, but I finally went back to Third Planet in Houston, which is one of the oldest comic book brick and mortar stores in the nation, and also was like my first comic book store. Well, yeah, I guess I would call it my first comic book store. It was definitely where I had subscriptions at when I worked and lived near Houston. And so like I would have a subscription there. I would get all kinds of comic books. Like Third Planet was like my second home. I was there because I worked right down the road from it. I worked in Rice Village off Kirby Drive near Highway 69 or 59, whatever you want to call it, right near there. So Third Planet's located near Kirby and 59 or 69. And so like I literally worked maybe 4 or 5 blocks away. So for lunch, I would get in the car, drive down the road, hit up Third Planet, pick up all my subscriptions, try to pick up McDonald's or Burger King, like whatever fast food was on the way back to work. And this was always on like Wednesdays, I think. Yeah, New Comic Book Wednesdays Wednesday. I think I would always pick up on Wednesday and then try to get the episode out to you guys on Thursday when I would record and stuff. And so finally got to go back. It'd been so long since I'd been to Third Planet, and it was great, man, because going back, it was so familiar, because honestly, not much has changed as far as the store layout and like what they provide, which is one of the best comic book selections. It might not be the biggest. I think Bedrock City has a larger selection, but Third Planet always has great selection. They always have some of the best stuff. They always have the big hitters and then some just really great stuff. And they always come out with great selections. And if there was something that I wanted that they didn't have, they would always get it for me. So like I never had an issue with getting comic books that I wanted at Third Planet. And that's why they've always been and always will be my favorite comic book store. And but getting to see, and the worker who I've known since starting to go to comics, she recognized me there, which was great, and got to catch up and talk. And my son was with me. Casey and RJ were with me, so everyone getting to say hi. They've added like some Pokemon cards to the store too, so it was like, oh, there's my new addiction with my old addiction, like, and it was great. But what was one of the better things, because I kind of talked to her like, man, I've really been out of comic books other than reading Saga, which that's what I should have reviewed for you guys today. But I got other things in my mind, so we'll talk about Saga next week. But I was like, I really haven't been into comic books, explain kind of like my beef with Marvel and DC. And she told me like, well, here, we got a bunch of previews. Let me throw these at you. Take them, and because they're free for us, or well, free for me. Well, the consumer, because they've already looked through them as the store, so they know what the pre-order and gets, and then they give them out to customers, so the customers can get excited to see what's coming out from DC, Marvel, and all the other distributors. There's usually some like free comic book day stuff that they might have left over extra. I think I got 1 or 2 of those, and so I got to just kind of see what's been going on out there and see what's coming up, like some stuff with Spider-Man and Batman and the Justice League and the Avengers, and Doctor Doom is apparently going to be a big deal coming soon, which kind of makes sense because Avengers Doomsday is going to be coming out soon, so that made a lot of sense. But there was one comic book that really struck a chord with me, and I don't know if it's in a good or a bad way. So I was going through the DC Connect for March 2025, and this came out in January. It's issue number 56 of the DC Connect, which is going to showcase a lot of stuff. Well, one of them is a Harley Quinn special called the Harley Quinn Fartacular Silent but Deadly, issue number 1. And like, I don't have a real problem with this, but it's hilarious. And because, you've heard it, it's the Fartacular, Silent but Deadly. So this is a comic book that is specifically catered to something to do with Harley Quinn and her farts, man. Let's see. Here's the details from it. I've been holding in all my very worst bits of bubble guts for the last 32 years, and it's all been leading up to this epic expulsion. Your nose will never be the same. You'll gag, you'll cry, you'll feel things you ain't never felt before. Because this is Harley Quinn talking, not me. This fine publication is a celebration of all things past, present, passed, like passed on, past, present, and future. All fart jokes. Sequential art's place in the annals of history is about to change with the release of the Harley Quinn Factacular Silent but Deadly, a comic that promises to have the highest concentration of gas per page, or GPP, ever committed to print. Emphasis on committed, because everyone who worked on this comic is getting thrown into Dr. Fartley's home for no good gassy gals and guys. Read the comic that Abraham Lincoln called A Joy from Fart to Finish, moments before he died. Okay, wow. And I didn't read all that prior to this, and now I'm like, oh God. It says, warning, we aren't kidding. If you're grossed out by farts, then this comic isn't for you, and that's perfectly okay, though I'm judging you, unless you want to put your feelings to the test, in which case this comic is for you. And it is got asterisks on the picture saying it is full of real farts you can smell with your nose. Well, real as in artificial rub and smell farts. So you can rub Harley Quinn's butt and smell her fart, which, okay, DC, you do know your fans. I will give you that. But did you have to go with that? Like, I get it. It's a fun, and it's drawn very kid-friendly looking, and so it looks like it's like a fun kid book. But I've been in the comic books community. I know the trash that is lurking out there. I was one of them. I wasn't to this extent, this level, but I can see it already. I'm scared to go to Comic Palooza this year because there's going to be someone dressed as a Harley Quinn who's probably going to be doing the fart joke stuff from this issue. And there are going to be guys that are going to aggressively want to smell her farts without her consent, or his, depending on if he's playing a Harley. There's male Harley Quinn cosplayers out there too. But I'm worried. DC, this is a dangerous slope that you're playing with. It's funny, don't get me wrong, but just because something's funny doesn't mean it's okay. At least that's what my mom used to tell me when I would do bad things. Anyway, okay, so that was that. Let's talk about... Let me move that out to the side so it's not in my way, not distracting me. Let's talk about Pokemon cards for a bit. So, this weekend, today maybe, I don't know, I'm going to be going back to Walmart to go find out here shortly, is the release of the newest Pokemon card set called Prismatic something. I forget what the hell it's called. Prismatic Evolutions. There you go. I had to scroll up to find it. Which is the name of the set. The nickname for it is... excuse me, gassy. No, that's not... Harley Quinn farts. Anyway. God. I can't stop. Anyway. Prismatic Evolutions, new set, but it has a nickname. It's the Evolution set. It's another Evolution set, much like Evolving Skies was a bunch of years back. And it seems like a lot of the same things are happening with this new Prismatic Evolutions, or Problematic Evolutions, or Traumatic Evolutions, from what some people have been calling it, where there is a huge amounts of hype behind this set. In fact, I have seen videos, because not only do you have this set coming out, but now you have probably what will be the final Scarlet Violet 151 print or sets coming out with Blooming Waters at the same time. And so that mixed with this Evolution set, which is very sought after, has been causing a lot of wild things online. It's looking like Black Friday, like old school Black Friday, like the Black Friday I grew up with, where people are fighting over TVs, like fist fights and stuff. That is happening in Costco's. Companies are having all their pre-sales for the Prismatic Evolutions sold out. Scalpers are selling Prismatic Evolutions for crazy amounts. A booster bundle, which is 6 booster packs, is currently on sale at Rare Candy and that's a website, for $89.99. That is 6 booster packs. 6 of them. TCG Player, which is where I order most of my cards from, is selling it's like a giant surprise box. It has a bunch of cards. It's like their trainer box, where not an elite trainer box where it's a bunch of booster packs, but it comes with a bunch of cards and some booster packs. It's a deck builder box, and usually it's not too bad, maybe $50. That's selling on TCG Player for over $100 right now. Poster collections, which are normally $30, are selling anywhere between $50 and $70. Sticker collections, which are $15, are selling upwards of... God, I can't even think. It's disgusting, dude. These pre-sale items are insane. ETBs, which are normally $50, are selling for $126 right now. Booster packs. A single booster pack, normally $5, maybe $6, is going for almost $15 for a booster pack. I told you, $90 for a booster bundle, which is 6 of those things. The binder collection is going for $54. The poster collection is going for $41. These things are normally $20 each. The sticker collection, which I told you was $15, is going for $35. Some of them are going for $40. This is gross. Oh, there's going to be an accessory pouch. That's kind of cool. $70 for this damn thing. $70. And it's normally... No, that's another reseller. That's just insane. It's insane. Tins, mini tins, a pack of 10 of them is going for over $260. It's like $260 for a pack of 10 of the mini tins. The mini tins are small, come with 2 booster packs in them. Normally mini tins sell anywhere between like 10 and 15 bucks. Maybe. So 10 of them would be like $100. Like, that's insane. That is insane to me, that's where we're at with this set. And like, it's crazy. People are like stalking stores. It has me. I'm gonna go tonight to see if our card distributor put the cards out tonight. If not, I'm gonna go early tomorrow morning and then sometime after lunch to try to even get something of the EV set, because pre-orders are gone. You can't pre-order it from anywhere. It's insane. People are losing their minds. You can't get them anymore. They've been releasing early in some places, and people are literally fighting over them. Store employees are getting in danger because of how upset people are getting and how violent people are getting trying to get these cards. It's been so bad. Some companies have come out and have said things like, look, with the demand being like, and this is from missing number games, says, with the demand being so high, we know there will be people lining up at the door. To ensure the safety of our employees and other customers, only 2 parties will be allowed into the store at one time. Once they check out, the next party will go in. It says there will be a limit to 1 item per party or household. That means you can only choose one thing: an ETB, a sticker collection, a binder collection. And it's to ensure that everyone can at least get something. It says if you want the products at MSRP, so like, normal price that you'll get at a Walmart or a Target, if you can, they will have to remove the shrink wrap off your products and open them there at the store. So like, if you want like an ETBs normally come like with shrink wrap over them. Scalpers are buying them up in droves and reselling them. Like I said, $150 for one of these things that are normally just $50. The store says, hey, you want them at market price, we're cutting off the plastic, so you can't sell this as an unopened thing, which I agree with wholeheartedly. I think anything like this, you have to combat these scalpers, these flippers, these people who are thinking they're going to make thousands of dollars trying to rip people off on something because no one can buy it. You have to combat that. The sticker collections that come with the like plastic cover on them, take that shit off. Like, and I like people who are truly like me who want this set to open with their son, or, because they like opening Pokemon cards and are not trying to flip like sealed products to get rich. People like us will not care because I'm getting my product. You're breaking the seal on it, but you're not like damaging the product. I'm going to open it anyway. Like, so I agree with that 100%. I think what Missing Number Games is doing, and a bunch of other stores that are doing this, I 100% agree with this. But there are some stores that are not so cool. There are some stores that are removing their pre-orders and then putting up all this stuff at market value, which is like the hundreds of dollars, because they see the money that they can make on this. Or they're getting their buds to like, quote unquote, buy these products to then have like resell for the store. Like, there's some shady shit going on with Pokemon right now because of this crazy supply and demand that's been happening. And it's sickening, man. Thankfully, it is not all darkness. So thankfully, the Pokemon Company has heard our screams into the void, has heard our frustrations. And recently, the Pokemon Company came out to say, let me clear my throat here. And they've said, we are aware that some fans may experience difficulties purchasing certain Pokemon trading card games, Scarlet and Violet Prismatic Evolution products at launch due to the high demand impacting availability. We understand this inconvenience can be disappointing for fans, and we are actively working to print more of the impacted Pokemon TCG products as quickly as possible and at maximum capacity to acknowledge this. Reprinted products are expected to be available at participating realtors as soon as possible to help ensure more fans receive opportunities to access Scarlet and Violet Prismatic Evolutions. In addition, more new products from the Scarlet and Violet Prismatic Evolution lineups will be launching in the coming months. So there are going to be a couple of reprints with this, which is great. Reprints means more people are going to be able to get their hands on it, which means scalpers are not going to be able to flip this as easy because people are going to be more willing to wait and say, well, I can get mine, like it will happen, because eventually the scalpers, they're playing a dangerous game here, right? They're going to try to buy up as much product as they can and hopefully be able to sell it at high prices. But eventually stuff's going to slip through the cracks and they can't pay for everything. And people are going to get the stuff that they want to get and not be willing to buy the stuff from the scalpers, which eventually will bring the prices down, that's what we want, right? Well, at least that's what I want, because unfortunately I live in a small town and I swear to God, there's one or two people here that are buying up all the products, that are scalping these products to resell. I 100% believe this, because when I go, after I know this guy, the distributor dude just put out the cards and it is cleaned out. So someone in my town thinks they're going to be able to make a bunch of money off these Pokemon cards. And I hope they lose a bunch of money. I hope they go bankrupt. Do I hope something bad happens to their families? No, but I hope they learn a valuable lesson. And I have to leave some cards for people, because there are other people like me and other families out there that just want to have fun with their kids and want to open up cards and just have a little joy out of it. And these people are taking that away from us. They're taking the joy away from us. But I'm happy with what the Pokemon company is doing. I think it's right. I think they have to combat these awful people by printing more. I think the stores that are ripping the sealed packaging to sell at MSRP for people, I think that's a good idea. I think that's smart. Hell, I think you should do it for all your products. Screw the scalpers. You shouldn't be selling the scalpers. You shouldn't be selling to resellers. You should be selling to the people that want to open those products. You're the reseller. Well, I mean, you're the normal seller, but that's who you as that store, you as the trading card shop, you're the one that should be selling the normal at market price. So rip all those packages. And I don't give a fuck. I don't care, because I want to open booster packs. I want to have the fun of gambling. Like, that's what I want. It's frustrating, man. It's frustrating that the second market of Pokemon cards, of any trading card, is ruining it for the rest of us, dude. Like, these people who do the rip and ships are like, I mean, there's a bunch of people that are to blame, obviously. The people I'm most mad about are the scalpers, the people who think they're just going to make a quick couple $100 and get one over on people because they're just trying to ride this fad. Like, it's frustrating. And I know I haven't been a card collector for an incredibly long time, you know, but I was like an OG card collector. You know, I loved base set, and I collected a lot of those cards and really enjoyed them, and found them again here recently, which I lost my shit over and was super excited. And now I found my way back with 151. And so it's disheartening and frustrating to see what has happened to this community in like the 4 years that I've rejoined it. And like, I've been assured that it's cyclical. Like, it will, like, much like the comic book industry, like it comes and goes in waves, and like the next sets might not be quite as big, but like the next sets that are coming up, they're bringing back not trainer cards, but like trainer Pokemon. So Pokemon that are specific to a certain trainer, and they'll be on the card as well. And then the Team Rocket set, which is supposed to be coming out sometime this year, which that's the one I'm really holding out for. Like, if there's going to be another set that I plan on master setting, it's going to be the Pokemon Team Rocket set that's going to be coming out. So that's the one that I'm really excited for. And then you have like the Pokemon 30 years is coming up. They've celebrated the 25 year, I think 5 years ago. I don't know. I think 30 years is either next year or the year after that. So that's coming really fast. And that's going to be another one that I'm probably going to go heavy into just to celebrate it, you know, because I missed out on 25. It's funny because I remember seeing the 25th anniversary stuff in stores and thinking like, oh, that's pretty neat, and not buying any of those cards. And now some of those cards are worth quite a bit of money. But Like, and there were some really cool prints and promos from those sets that I missed out on and that are now a lot of money. So if I want to try to get those promos, I got to drop quite a pretty penny to do it. But anyway, yeah, that's my high horse, man. If you're the person listening to this podcast that's buying up all the cars in my Walmart, I hate you. I really hate you. And my son hates you too. Because all he wants is a cerulege. He loves cerulege, man. That's why, like, I've been trying, and eventually I bought a Japanese cerulege because my son doesn't care if it's in English or not. He just cares if the picture looks cool. And there's a really cool cerulege. He calls it Twinkle Star cerulege. It's the shiny version from the Paldean Fates set that you can't find anywhere in stores right now. Or if you do, it's like very rare. But I found the Japanese card for like $2 because the American one's like $7. What the fuck? And then like the one I posted on my Instagram where I found a full art card of cerulege that looks badass. It's really one of my favorite arts. The American version is like $50, but the Japanese version is $7 because it's way easier to pull. And I was like, well, screw you. I'm not trying to play this for like a deck that I'm building or anything. I like it because the art's cool. So I bought the Japanese version. And to be honest, the Japanese version almost looks cleaner, almost looks better for some reason. And so I bought that version instead because it's way cheaper, way more affordable, and I still get the cool artwork. It looks great on my display wall. So, F you, America. Like, I'm thinking about it, like, and it's funny because it's like all Japanese sets are cheaper. Like, the cards are cheaper in Japanese because it's actually... It seems like the pull rates are way better in Japanese than they are in English for some reason. And so that's why a lot of the Japanese cards are way cheaper than their American counterparts. So I might just start collecting Japanese cards. Forget y'all. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of my rant. Thanks for sticking around for that long. Jesus, I went on for a long time, and I'm sorry. Anyways, guys, that's it, man. I'm done. I'm sorry. My throat hurts out of anger. And I got to go to Walmart to see if Pokemon's out. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast this year and at the start of this year. Hopefully you are enjoying the content that I'm bringing you guys. And yeah, next week we're going to talk about some comic books. I got some stuff planned to talk comics, so that'll be that'll probably be much needed because I'm probably going to be really frustrated about this Pokemon card shit. So yeah. And then if you like what you hear, just remember I'm on all your podcasting apps that are out there currently. I am on TikTok for Lord knows how long, maybe till Sunday when they decide to ban it. I'm on YouTube. I think I got rid of X finally. So yeah, I'm not on X anymore. I'm on Threads, Instagram, Snapchat, all those things. And everything's at Bry-Fy Podcast. It's Bry-Fy Podcast. If you have suggestions on anything that I should read or check out or you want me to review, you can always hit me up on those. Hit me up on my email. It's bryfypodcast@hotmail.com or Gmail, one of the two. I guess Hotmail redirects to Gmail. I don't know. And then, of course, like I said, I'm on YouTube where sometimes I put replays of video games that I've been doing. Very rarely, but I've been meaning to get back into it. I will stream on Twitch TV. It's twitch.tv/the Bry-Fy, TheBryfy. I haven't really found anything new to play. I've really been playing a lot of just the stuff that I'm always playing, like the Division 2. I did find a new rally racing game. It's from EA Sports, WRC. It's a newer rally game, so I'm checking that one out. And then Marvel Rivals is out, and it looks like it's just Overwatch with a Marvel skin on it, and it's free to play. So I'm going to download that and maybe get into that here soon. But that's all that I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for listening, and tune in next week. Bry-Fy out.